It'll be a showcase for the league during the 2015 All-Star Game. Lots of players are on the move as trade deadline day arrives. And we go behind the scenes with one of the ECHL's very valuable jacks of all trades. All right now on ECHL Week. Hi, welcome to ECHL Week. Although it's still 10 months away, the excitement is building for what is sure to be one of the ECHL's most notable and well-publicized events. The Orlando Solar Bears will be hosting the ECHL's 21st All-Star Game on January 21st, 2015, in front of what is expected to be the largest crowd ever for the league's mid-season collection of top-flight talent. We recently caught up with Solar Bears CEO Jason Siegel, and he briefed us as to how the preparations are faring for the occasion, which will give the ECHL even more exposure in Central Florida and beyond.
It's a community event, and when we first came to town in the summer of 2011, it was really important to not just the franchise, but certainly the community, the mayor, and our fan base to be able to, within the first couple of years, be able to announce that we'd have the All-Star Game coming, and it'll be a celebration of Orlando and all the great, there's 57 million visitors that come to Orlando, and this is our small way of being part of the entire mix, which is great for everybody. A lot of our staff have had these types of opportunities to participate and help put the event together. Plus we have a tremendous amount of help. Visit Orlando, local government, so many of our partners have already stepped up and they're going to play a large role in the event. All of them excited to welcome the ECHL to Orlando.
Closer to the present, Siegel also talked about the Eastern Conference playoff race and the likelihood that the Solar Bears will earn their first ever ECHL playoff berth next month.
We don't get too far ahead of ourselves. I mean, honestly, it really is game by game for us, for our staff. It's a tight race. It's an exciting race. That's great for the fans. Every game means something. All the points with so many teams, within a couple of points of each other, just makes for exciting hockey. The intensity level, but having been through so many great playoff series, we're excited for hopefully the possibility for our team to have the fortune to make the playoffs and for our fans to see playoff hockey, because there's nothing like it. There's the intensity level is tenfold, and it's an exciting time of year. So we'll take it day by day and see what happens when April rolls around.
A returning coach, outdoor ticket sales, and a new beer are on the docket as we take a trip around the league. Greenville head coach Dean Stork's contract has been extended through the 2014-15 season. The Warriors have always given me all the resources needed to make Greenville a winning and very competitive team, he said. Stork has been the Road Warriors head coach since the team's debut in 2010. Since then, he has compiled a 156, 96, and 23 record while reaching the Kelly Cup playoffs each season. The Road Warriors won the South Division title in 2010-11 and also had the Eastern Conference's best record that season. Stork is the third longest tenured head coach in the ECHL. To no one's surprise, tickets for the first two outdoor games in ECHL history are selling fast. Some 10,000 seats have already been purchased for the games to be played at Toledo's Fifth Third Field as part of Walleye Winterfest. The game on Saturday, December 27th, will feature Toledo against Kalamazoo. A week later, on January 3rd, 2015, the Walleye will host Fort Wayne. These two games are part of a 10-day community-wide celebration. The outdoor rink will host an alumni game between Toledo and Fort Wayne, a college game between Bowling Green and Robert Morris Universities, and more than 100 youth, high school, and adult games, as well as several community open skates. It took Colorado 12 attempts, but the Eagles finally managed to win a game in Alaska. When Colorado blanked the Aces 2-0 on March 13th, it marked the first time the Eagles were victorious at Sullivan Arena in 12 tries. Forward Kyle Ostro gave the Eagles the lead midway through the second period. In the dying seconds, Jesse Mikan scored into the empty net to wrap up the game. In his fifth ECHL contest, Dustin Butler stopped 40 Alaska shots to earn his first pro shutout. Colorado had been 0-9-1-1 in its first 11 tries in Anchorage. This is Colorado's third season in the ECHL. When the Kalamazoo Wings hosted the Orlando Solar Bears on Monday, it wasn't just two of the top teams in the East facing off. It was the 33rd annual world-famous St. Patrick's Day Green Ice game, during which the Kalamazoo Bagpipe Band also performed. The Wings' special St. Patrick's Day jerseys were auctioned off after the game, which Kalamazoo won 4-1. The Stockton Thunder has announced its own team-branded beer in conjunction with distributor DBI Beverage Incorporated and brewer Miller Coors. Rough and Ready Irish Red is now available to those 21 and over in the Stockton Arena. There are plans to extend availability to establishments within the Central Valley. Team President Brian Sandy said, "Hopefully, it's the first of many Stockton Thunder beverages to come." A look at some significant trade deadline deals, plus a real battle between two Western Conference foes. That's next on ECHL Week.
Where have hundreds of NHL players gotten their professional starts? The ECHL. And where do you find out about the ECHL? ECHL Week. On television or online, ECHL Week is the only show that brings you everything that's happening league-wide. Every week, watch ECHL Week. If you were any closer to the action, you'd be in the lineup.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
The ECHL trade deadline has passed, and it's time for a wrap-up of some of the notable deals that took place in the last few days during which trades were permitted. Looking toward the future, Gwinnett was among the busiest teams and made several trades prior to the deadline, adding young talent for next season. First, the Gladiators obtained forward Mike Murfield, defenseman Eric Sevchenko, and future considerations from Florida for Evan Bludoff and Rob Quitt. Murfield, a second-year pro, had 30 points in 54 games with the Everblades this season. Sevchenko has been busy the last few months. The Latvian started the season in Norway, where he played 20 games. Then was off to San Francisco for 9 games, prior to his signing with Florida, where he played 9 more games. Heading to the Everblades are Bludoff, who had 17 goals and 12 assists in 55 games with the Gladiators this season, and the well-traveled Quitt, who had 23 points in 33 games with Gwinnett this year. Florida will be the 7th ECHL team for Quitt, who started this season in Fort Wayne. Quitt is now one of 5 active skaters who have seen action for at least 7 ECHL clubs. The Gladiators also picked up forward Mike Seidel from Evansville to complete a previous deal which had sent defenseman Antoine Corbin to the Icemen. Seidel had 28 points in 57 games with Evansville this season. Gwinnett's other move was to acquire Matt Ridley from Orlando for cash. Third-year defenseman did not register a point in 2 games for Orlando, but did have 19 points in 48 games with 2 Southern Professional Hockey League teams this season. Florida made another deal, acquiring forward Cameron Burt from Ontario in exchange for defenseman Olivier Malka and futures. Malka joined the Everblades partway through last season. This year he had 19 points in 49 games with a +19 plus-minus rating with Florida. New Everblade Burt had 22 points in 32 games with the Reign this year. Ontario had been his only ECHL team since he turned pro in 2012. The South Carolina Stingrays have received forward Luke Oakley from the Evansville Icemen in exchange for defenseman Zach Curry. Oakley, a second-year pro, is joining his third team this year. He started the season in Bakersfield and has 7 points in 26 games. Curry, a rookie, skated in 36 games with the Stingrays, earning 2 goals and 4 assists, and was a +4. Stockton sent rookie forward J.P. Burkemper to the Toledo Walleye for cash. An abundance of forwards on the Thunder roster led to the deal. Burkemper played in 30 games for the Thunder, scoring 5 goals and adding 3 assists. And forward Aaron Clark did lots of moving without going too far. First, the 31-year-old was dealt from Toledo to Orlando for future considerations. Then the Solar Bears shipped Clark to Fort Wayne to complete the Mickey Lang trade from December. Clark started this season in Kalamazoo. He had a total of 17 goals and 28 points in 51 games at the time of the trade. Utah and Stockton are close in the standings, and it's possible they could meet in the first round of the playoffs. Judging by this game, that would be quite a matchup, especially after you see this year's penalty minute leader in a scrap with last year's penalty king. Let's pick up the play in the second period. Here are Caleb Lamb and Brandon Kisker describing the action on the Thunder Broadcasting Network.
Sevens dueling there. Grizzlies get away with it though. The other way they come. Paquette has Mangan going to the front of the net. Whips a shot. He scores. Danik Paquette to the top corner over the blocker of Foster. And he picks his spot. Brace hustles back to the point. Keeps it alive for Trevino. Down low to Hayes. Back to Brace. Couldn't pull the trigger. Now he doesn't. Scores from a very tight angle. And that is a tie game 1-1. With 13:55 to go in this second period. Cross-ice pass to Paquette over to the far side. Andrew O'Brien gets into the zone. Mike Keenan takes a big hit, but he did apply the touch, and now Keenan goes after O'Brien.
Here it comes.
And now we've got everyone scrapping. Paquette does drop the gloves with Hunt. They're tied up over at the far side circle in the offensive zone. Small left hand. Oh, but Paquette comes back with 2 huge lefts to the side of the head. Hunt gets his arm free, though. Paquette wants to knock his helmet off because it's on sideways and blinding part of his vision. Hunt still trying to get that arm free. Gives one shot there. Paquette gets one back at him. Neither of those guys can really get untied, though, and get these shots going. Elbow guard goes flying out. Oh, Paquette comes in tough with a couple ones there, but Hunt working the body, couple uppercuts, trying to get that left hand free now again. A big hit to the back of the helmet. He has him tied up. Finally the officials come in. Paquette a couple of rights there. And then Hunt, oh, he's still going after him.
They got to let these guys go.
The officials came over. Paquette thought the fight was going to stop. Oh, a huge left uppercut there on Hunt. They're still going at it. Couple big lefts. Hunt jabbing away as well. Now they're over by the Utah bench, and they're just throwing haymakers at each other. Finally, the linesmen say enough is enough. 15 seconds to go in the penalty to Derek Martin. James Henry crosses the blue line over far side. Trigger ripped, he scores! Ryan Hayes! He doesn't need much of an opportunity, and he finds the back of the net right side on Bobkov. Scarcella swings it over for Valerani, who steps on in place of Bobkov, who's on the bench. 6-on-5 until the Thunder can get a touch. Here's Martin to Bo. Left wing circle, backdoor pass, they score. There was the touch-in from Vinny Scarcella, the man who drew that penalty. Thunder 6 in the West, Grizzlies 4th in the West, ahead of the Thunder by 6 points. But remember, it is winning percentage that decides the ultimate standings. Thunder control off the draw. Here's Keenan, scores! Mike Keenan, a blast from the straightaway slot, and it only takes 8 seconds of power play time.
Time to go behind the scenes with a man responsible for making sure his team is ready every game. Straight ahead on ECHL Week.
I say, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. 'Cause I've got a smile on my face, and I've got 4 walls around me.
Stars shine in Orlando in January of 2015 when the Solar Bears take on the ECHL All-Stars at the Amway Center, presented by Visit Orlando. Visit OrlandoSolarBearsHockey.com for more information.
Hi, this is Marshall Everson of the Gwinnett Gladiators, and you're watching ECHL Week.
Sewing and sharpening skates are skills that don't have much in common unless you're an equipment manager for a hockey team. Those talents, along with dozens of others, make equipment managers among the most valuable members of any club. Today, we go behind the scenes to see some of the duties an equipment manager handles on an average game day, if there is such a thing as an average game day. And that includes the times when game day involves putting on a uniform and dressing as the team's emergency backup goalie. When you were going through school, were you thinking, gee, I want to be an equipment manager for a professional hockey team?
Somewhat. I helped out for 3 or 4 years here, just being a stick boy and doing whatever, and I really liked it, just like being around it, being around the guys and all that. And I just went into college, and that's when I really kind of got into it, because I had a little bit of time during the day, and I would come down here and help out and hang out a little more. I just kind of got into it, and eventually worked my way up to the head job, and 11 years later, still here.
You do countless other things. How would, describe your job to somebody who really doesn't understand what's going on?
There's a lot of little things. The biggest part is sharpening skates, ordering sticks, make sure the players have every little piece of gear that they need or could need. That's a lot of it. Preparing and planning ahead is a lot of it, having stuff on hand and ready to go. A lot of laundry, just get it taken care of, and then the next day it's all ready to go and hung up and fresh for the players. They come in just like magic, it's ready to go. But sewing, getting the jerseys ready, there's so many little detail things that people probably wouldn't think of. Players come in and give them a parking pass for their car out back, or take care of the breakfast stuff in the locker room, little things like that. Stocking the gum, just there's all kind of little things that you wouldn't think of. It's a lot of hours, but it's fun. It's nice to be a part of it.
What's the best part of your job?
Just being around it. The guys are fun. Like, we have a real good group of guys, and just to be a part of it. And even, when I do the emergency backup goaltending, I get to be in the room and getting dressed, out on the ice and practicing and warm-ups. Just feel like a little more part of the team. I mean, I'm part of it, but just more when you're in there with the boys, and they're just fun. It's fun to be around.
Talk about the fraternity, if you will, of equipment managers in the ECHL, because let's face it, there's probably really only 21 other people in the world who know exactly what you go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, there's a lot that we do, not just me, but all the equipment managers in the league, and they all do a really good job. We all work together. It's basically like a brotherhood. I mean, it's the fans may think the opposite of that it's your rival team and you don't want to work with them, but we're all in it together. Like, we all work together as far as travel arrangements and getting into each other's buildings, or if something happens during a game, or just anything. Said we have Cincinnati. They came in today from Elmira. They came in about 4 o'clock in the morning, and me and Chris Burke, we coordinated with that, and I came down, let them in, got their laundry done, got them ready to go, and just a lot of that.
Speak again about the most drastic change you've seen in the league in 11 years.
Yeah, the league itself has just gotten so much better, and just more, the guys are younger and just more wanting to move up and get to that next level, and it's just more professional, I don't know if you will. Say my first year, and a lot of things have changed. My first year we had a guy using wood sticks, and I mean, now you don't see that ever hardly anymore. So just from that, and then just a lot of the players say they're younger, and it's more, there was more kind of rough years ago, and now it's kind of more skill league. It's different, but it's fun. It's a lot better. So.
You said earlier, we were talking about how, and maybe you could elaborate on this a little bit, how the Penguins have been really good as your NHL affiliate, and your and Wilkes-Barre Scranton have also been part of the whole Penguins family. Talk a little bit about how nice they are to you guys.
Yeah, it's we're very fortunate with the Penguins organization. I mean, even though they don't technically own us, I mean, they treat us as part of the family. It's nice. And as far as just like with working with them, Dana Hines in Pittsburgh, and then Teddy Richards, he was in Wilkes-Barre, now is the assistant in Pittsburgh. They're just great to work with, the players coming up and down. town, and they treat us very well. And I try to take, little things from there that I get to see when I'm up there, and just see how they do things, and kind of keep things the same way from the top down. So when the players, if they're in Pittsburgh's training camp and get sent down to Wilkes-Barre and then eventually come down to us, it's kind of the same thing, just to kind of keep everything the same. They get to just come in and focus on hockey. That's what we try to do.
How long do you think you're going to keep doing this?
I don't know. I mean, I'm getting older, but I'm still somewhat young, I guess you'd say. But as long as they'll have me, pretty much. I mean, I'm from Wheeling, so it's pretty well all I know. I've had chances to move on and go other places, but I've decided to stay right here. And it's fun. It's home. I'm really lucky to get to do it at home, and I take a little more pride. I mean, obviously, take pride in my work, but being that it is my hometown and I'm from here, that just gives me a little extra. And so I'm just lucky to do it here, and as long as they'll have me, I'll probably sticking around.
We'll take a look at one of the hottest teams in the Eastern Conference when ECHL Week continues.
Are you paying too much with your current payroll company? Are you concerned about how Obamacare could affect your business? If you're interested in a better, more cost-effective solution, Einstein HR is the answer. No more stressing out about Obamacare and the new regulations. No more worrying about being in compliance. No more overpriced payroll services. Let Einstein HR get you back to the business of doing business instead of spending needless hours and frustration taking care of details that add nothing to your bottom line. We provide a first-class payroll and HR services with superior customer service. Call Einstein HR today.
Several of the teams at the top of the Eastern Conference are taking turns leapfrogging one another in order to, at least temporarily, gain the top spot. Our Eastern featured game today has Kalamazoo taking its turn to try and gain first in the East, this time against a Toledo team with a lot of new faces. Here to describe the play is Mike Paduno on the K-Wings Radio Network.
Kalamazoo works at Del Monte. Jarred out to the corner, 4-2 hit advantage. Puck goes to the corner. Wilson's going to drop the gloves, and it's time to play the feud. Tyler Embrecht and Wilson coming on. Wilson throwing some haymakers up high after Embrecht threw the first couple. Tried a little left jab from Embrecht. Embrecht tied up now, trying to come in with a little bit of a rabbit punch. Trying to get the height advantage. He's jabbing, but Wilson keeping him at bay. Wilson has the right hand gear. Embrecht double rights, now misses on a uppercut. Two still tied up, and now taken down to the ground. Wings got a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Cloutier shuffles it back out to Del Monte. Cross break the Furman, and a shot gloved in and dropped in front, but covered up quickly. Dan Watson will join us 5:28 from now off the draw. K-Wings get the shot away. It'll be turned off the stick. And it'll be Gilbert chasing after to Rogers. He'll come in, shot to the net, stop by Bennington, rebound knocked in. And Toledo strikes first. Kyle Rogers took the initial shot. Carry the zone right to left. Flips it off the wall. Blaine got it to Bloomstrand. Shot broken up. Still on the blue line. Bloomstrand keeps it. Looks high slot to Taylor on a backhand. Forced behind the net. Trying to sneak in front. He scores! Justin Taylor faked left behind the net, snuck it in, and Taylor gets on the board. The K-Wings have tied it late in the period. Tom the Tally coming at 19:28. Justin Taylor, 16th of the season. ECU.com, Kalamazoo. A tied game at 1. Works it ahead out to Lawrence, gives it to Sirota. High slot, Carrier sneaks in, takes the shot, he scores! Carrier taking his time and then found the lane as Toivonen went down. Carrier lights the lamp, and it's his for Carrier his 21st of the season.
That wraps up today's show. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, when you're not watching the program, you can stay in touch with us via Twitter, Facebook, and email. Until next time, make it a good week. Make it an ECHL week.